After years of waiting for my father's apology, I realized his regret only appeared when he needed something from me. My name is Alex, I'm 34, and I grew up in a house where my father, Richard, carried authority like armor. He ran a small construction business, and his temper was something everyone in the family learned to navigate carefully. My younger sister, Emily, seemed to flow through life without triggering his anger, while I was more sensitive, more cautious, always calculating my words to avoid conflict. Growing up, I often felt like I was tiptoeing across a floor full of hidden cracks, never fully sure when one of them would open beneath me. The last big fight I had with him happened when I was 26. I had landed a job opportunity across the country in Chicago and told him I planned to move. He exploded, not because he didn't care about me, but because the idea of me leaving the family business made him feel powerless. He yelled about loyalty, responsibility, about how I was being selfish, how he had built everything to support us and I was throwing it away. I remember him slamming the door so hard I flinched, my chest tight, heart hammering, and I left the house knowing it would be a long time before things could be normal again. For years after, I kept my distance. Phone calls were short, awkward, strained. Every time I thought about reaching out, I would imagine him admitting he was wrong, apologizing for his temper, for the coldness that had shaped my childhood. I wanted that so badly. I wanted to hear him acknowledge the years he had hurt me without realizing it, to finally see the man I always hoped he could be. But the apologies never came, and I kept waiting, hoping that someday he would recognize his mistakes without me having to explain them. It started to change when my sister called one Friday afternoon. He'd had a fall at one of the construction sites, nothing catastrophic but enough to shake him up. My first reaction was complex, a mix of fear, resentment, and instinct. Part of me wanted to be there for him, to see if this event would finally trigger the regret I had been waiting for, and part of me wanted to stay away, to protect the fragile life I had built for myself in Chicago. In the end, I went. I told myself I needed to see him, to witness if he would finally express some real remorse, some real acknowledgement of what he'd done. When I arrived at the hospital, he was sitting upright in the bed, arm in a sling, a look of discomfort on his face. When he saw me, he muttered something that could almost pass for an apology. Almost, but not quite. I sat across from him quietly observing. It wasn't the heartfelt admission I had imagined for years. It was careful, measured, almost like a test. He seemed to be calculating my reaction, not truly expressing how he felt. For the first time, I started to notice a pattern I hadn't allowed myself to see before. Over the next several weeks, I visited him sporadically. Every time he needed something, guidance with a client, help with a financial issue, a favor from me, his voice softened, his demeanor humble. He would talk about wishing he had been more understanding in the past, how he hoped I could forgive him. But when there was nothing he needed, the apologies vanished, replaced by distance or frustration. It dawned on me slowly but clearly that his regret was not genuine. Full story on my channel, link below.